masterpiece, who is America, he has proven that, you don't have to waterboard somebody to get the truth out of them. You can just like make them really comfortable and give them compliments and put a camera on them and ask. This is high wire acting. Make no mistake. There is no take two. And it always bothers me when that isn't seen as unbelievable acting. Let's see, he's the ultimate con man. And the con is that he gets people living fucking, I'm saying fuck too much. That's a note I'm giving myself right now. And the con is that he gets people who are living unconscious lives to actually want to expose their darkest souls. Great job, Sarah. Let's put your hands together for Sir Sacha Baron Cohen. Knighted by the Queen. I introduced you as Sir, but you're not really knighted.
I count. Baron Cohen.
Will they?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. And what a great week to be a woman, Sarah.
What a great, it's a great day to be a woman.
And I wanted to find out, because it is a complicated issue. Where are you pro or against what's going on now about it? I know it's complicated.
I'm pro-choice, but I don't think it should be the woman's choice. I think it should be random.
Yeah. Whoever jumps out first. Yeah. Whoever wins the chase, it should be like the Olympics.
It should be more of like a, some sort of
more
game show on Showtime.
Exactly.
That decides. We're friends in real life.
What?
We're friends in real life.
We've met once at an Oscar party when I was nominated. No, we're very, very good friends.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah, exactly.
We're Jewish. We're Jewy.
Yeah.
I mean, keep it down. Just keep it in this room.
You've outed me as a Jew.
Huh?
You've outed me as a Jew.
I know, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Keyword knows.
Right. By the way, is anyone going to see Mel Gibson's Rothschild movie? Mel Gibson is starring in a movie about the Rothschilds.
I think it's perfect.
It's fantastic.
Nothing ironic or meta or. I just love.
For anyone who believes that the Jews control Hollywood, why the fuck would they let Mel Gibson, a Holocaust denier, star in a movie about?
Don't you think we give ourselves more roles? Sorry, why would I cut you off?
Quite right.
Not funny. I'm proud of myself.
Let's start again from the beginning.
Okay. Sacha Baron Cohen.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cohen, is that Jewish? All right, really? Okay, listen, Sacha. Woo! All right. I'm gonna ask you questions about your television show, about this, what I would call a masterpiece, and it's gonna be uncomfortable for you because you're not in character. But these people love the show and they want to hear about the inner workings of it, okay?
Fine.
Okay. Why don't you tell us about the process of how it worked? Did you come up with the characters first? Did you come up with like the frame, the scenario first? Or did you come up with what you wanted to reveal first?
You really want to know?
Only those three choices.
Okay.
No.
So you want me to answer? So basically, what happened was, not many people know this, but a couple of years ago, there was an election here. And the guy who I didn't want to win won. I was very, very upset by that. And I didn't really know how to express that frustration. And then one day, I think it was Saturday, they decided to ban Muslims from coming into the country. And I felt very, very upset about that. And I thought, okay, it's time for me to do what I don't like doing, despite having done it for a long time, which is to create some characters and go undercover. And it was basically for me to just get this anger out of my system. And so I should really credit Donald Trump as the creator of the show. I mean, I actually offered him to be co-creator, but he wanted sole creator on that.
All right.
Did that sort of answer it?
Hey, that's not the order I put my cards in.
Weird.
Oh well. What about? I feel like this leaps ahead.
But that's fine.
Well, just about like characters that didn't make it to air. Did you interview anyone that didn't make it to air? We know Sarah Palin, she gave you a lot of free press, and then she didn't even make it to air, which I love. I mean, how close did you get to the cabinet?
Oh, well, there was one. I mean, there were some that didn't make it to air. So there was, Dr. Ben Carson?
Great doctor.
So, he's fantastic. And it just, putting him in the cabinet just actually proves that Trump is not a racist.
Yeah.
Because how can you put an African American in the cabinet if he was a racist? It's not possible. It's proof.
The
It's actually proof.
doctor who's black said he'd be good at urban housing.
Exactly. So anyway, my team, we managed to secure an interview with Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson. And we made a mistake. This gives you some of the workings of the show. And we book a hotel room in DC where we're going to interview him. I walk into the hotel and I am doing this character, OMG, Whizboy OMG. He's this Finnish unboxing character. And I'm going to interview Ben Carson. And unfortunately, basically, the moment I walk in, I find out there's Secret Service everywhere in the hotel. And that's problematic because I'm just about to take the piss out of a cabinet member. And there was a conference of world leaders at the same hotel that day. So it was kind of bad luck. Condoleezza Rice was there, but there were about 50, 60 Secret Service in the hotel. And obviously I didn't want to get arrested. So Ben Carson comes with his own Secret Service. And this is kind of what's different to kind of a normal show where somebody in between takes goes to their trailer. So Ben Carson, we know he's coming into this room. He's got his own Secret Service. I'm in another room. And I realized, what happens if they want to see my ID? And if the moment they see it's Sacha Baron Cohen, then the interviews, I won't be able to interview him. So I have fake ID. And then I realized, wait a minute, what happens if I give his Secret Service fake ID? Is that against the law? So I call up my lawyer. And again, Ben Carson is 5 minutes from coming into the room next door. And the lawyer says, listen, if you show fake ID to the Secret Service, then you're going to be arrested and you're going to jail. And I'm going, but it's fucking Ben Carson. Ben Carson's coming in. I can't interview Ben Carson unless I show fake ID. And I go, what happens if the fake ID falls on the floor, the Secret Service picks it up? So I haven't given it to him. And he was like, Sacha, now that might be illegal.
That's very clever. Are you related to Michael Cohen, then?
My lawyer, Michael, is on the phone. My lawyer and cousin. And so I go into the room, go past the Secret Service, I'm ready to drop the ID. They don't ask for the ID. And they have some of the press secretaries from the White House there, who are not idiots. I mean, they've been there for many years. And then one of them, I have all these Shopkins on the desk, and Ben Carson's about to walk in. And he goes, what are those on the desk? The sort of head of press at the White House says. I go, those are Shopkins. He goes, I know they are Shopkins, but why are there Shopkins on the desk? I go, well, I'm an unboxer. I'm going to unbox with Dr. Carson. And at that point, Ben Carson's leg is coming in. And unfortunately, this guy just gave one nod to the Secret Service and they pulled him out. But then word spread in the hotel that there was somebody trying to do something to a cabinet minister. And all the Secret Service in the hotel were alerted. So we go back to their room, and there literally were, I mean, we hired an ex-Secret Service guy, and I thought he was mentally ill because he said there are people dressed as housekeeping in the Secret Service. And I go, he's actually mentally ill. But it later turned out he was correct. And they were literally, this is the way that the Secret Service listen into rooms. They go like this, imagine this is the door, they go like this. I'm not joking, because we got some behind the scenes footage. One of these Secret Service guys outside my room going, and so the Secret Service are chasing us around the hotel, and I had booked another room under a different name upstairs. We go to the other room, they're searching for us, and they don't know what the hell is going on, you know. Ben Carson knows something weird has happened. His office have alerted the Secret Service. And then I said to my guy, I go, okay, he goes, all right, we need to get out the building. They know that you're here. They know that something is going on here, and they're looking for you. And I go, all right, let's go out the back exit like we planned. And he goes, no, they're waiting at the back exit. So I go, well, how do we get out? He goes, we're going to go out the front. And so we pulled the getaway car out to the front. He goes, what's going to happen is we're going to go down the elevator, and you're going to walk 25 feet. The door's going to be open of the getaway car. And I go, well, what if one of the Secret Service come and apprehend me? And he goes, I'm going to take them to the floor. And I go, but that's completely illegal. He goes, no, it's not. He goes, it's got nothing to do with you, and that's what's going to happen. So he goes, if I go and do anything, you must keep on going and going to the car. So anyway, that's the kind of, that's the equivalent of my trailer. You know, that's what happens on either side of the scene.
So many questions. Well, do you want to say anything about Sarah? Do you want to say? I'm such a good interviewer.
Yeah.
The Sarah Palin thing, because she did give you so much free press, but did you see it that way as it was happening, or was it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was bizarre because I had decided not to do any press at all. And I was a little bit concerned that nobody would see the show. And then luckily, actually, Sarah, I can't call her Sarah, no? I don't know. Ms. Palin came out and decided to promote a show that she was not on. And I was in this dilemma because there was a lot of pressure on, you must show the Sarah Palin interview.
Because of what she did?
Well, because she had accused me of pretending to be an ex-serviceman who, in order to sort of, you know, get the interview. And that was completely incorrect. I mean, I'm not going to use the term lie, but it was a lie. And so I was in this dilemma of, you know, obviously Sarah Palin is well known for always telling the absolute truth. You know? I mean, she's got incredible eyesight. She can actually see Russia from her bedroom. So, you know, she is somebody to be trusted. But on the other hand, I didn't want to put out an interview that was substandard. So it wasn't hilarious. So I thought, you know, I didn't put it out.
Okay, there's another thing that didn't make that you didn't air. I think I asked you about this.
Sure.
That I saw in an earlier screening. Why don't you describe it? Because I feel like you should be the one to describe what it is.
Okay, so there was a scene where Gio, who's the Italian billionaire, I don't know if he was he in this? Was he getting...
The photographer, O.J. Simpson.
Yes, so I did... Oh, O.J. Simpson was in
Did I
it.
make up that he's a photographer just because he looks
No,
like
he is a photographer as well. He's got a billionaire photographer. And he's in Vegas, and we wanted to have a look at... wanted to sort of investigate the networks around these powerful men who abuse people. So people like Harvey Weinstein, because someone like Harvey Weinstein, it takes a whole group of people to enable them to, you know, do their evil. And so
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes, allegedly.
not good for the Jews.
Initially.
It's so hard to not be good for the Jews, but he manages.
So basically, I had this idea to go, okay, how do I do something that's worse than Harvey Weinstein? So we went to Vegas and we got one of these hotel concierges in, the guys who help with the high rollers. And I bring in this guy, and he, this guy says, I can help you. How can I help you? I go, yeah, I got a bit of a problem. I don't know if I'm overdoing it, but I'm having a great day. I go out, and I have one of my hobbies is I love babysitting. And he goes, babysitting? I go, yeah, I love the babysitting. Anyway, I'm at the Gap Kids. And I see this man, and this man, I start talking to him, and I bring him back to the hotel room, and then, how was I to know that this man was below the age of consent? And I show this baseball card of this 8-year-old boy to this, this is, by the way, this is extreme humor, so, and this concierge goes, oh, he looks about, 8 years old. I go, well, how was I to know? How was I to know? And basically, I reveal to this guy that this guy, he's trying to blackmail me. And we show this Snapchat video of this kid, and the kid is obviously an actor that we pay, where he's saying he wants tickets to see David Blaine, and he wants my yacht. And if he doesn't get it, he's going to the press. And I go, this is disgusting. Who is this monster? Who is this monster? I'm being victimized here. I going back in my country, you would be able to get rid of this boy. Just make him disappear. Oh, sorry, he didn't know how to swim. And this concierge starts going, yeah, I know, it's terrible. This guy was from a different country, I won't say where, but he goes, in my country we could get rid of the kids. But here in America, we can't do it. I go, what kind of fucking country is this? Where you letting these kids terrorize men like me? And basically this concierge comes up with ways to silence this child, to help me out of, to help this person he thought was a pedophile, from getting in trouble and having to pay over the money. And it was more kind of investigative journalism. It was incredibly dark. And in the end, this guy, comes up with all these solutions to help me.
He was willing to do awful, awful things that he should be in
jail
for. Yeah.
And in fact, at the end, I turned over the footage to the FBI because we have to. And at the end of the interview, I said, he says, this is how we're going to fix it. We're going to threaten the family. We're going to do all this kind of stuff. And then, I'm sniffing the boys' underwear, and,
It wasn't really the boys' underwear.
It was not the boys' underwear.
It was the actor boy.
And at the end, I go, listen, I'm so stressed, I want to go out tonight, Tell me, have you got, any boys that you can bring for me? And he goes, what do you mean boys? How old? I go, below 12, but, above 8. No, I'm not a pervert. Yeah, those people below 8, disgusting. Yeah. Those people are sick. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, actually, I do know a guy who can get you some kids for tonight. I go, oh, thank you. And think about it, for me as an actor, I thought, that's the bizarre thing about doing some of this stuff. And the most shocking, bear in mind, the person most shocked by this footage is me in the scene. Is that I thought the moment I said this man had tried to molest me, I was out to know he was under 21, and I showed him a picture of an 8-year-old, I assumed that this man would walk out of the room and call the police. But he stayed in there for an hour and a half, and I'm there while the guy is working out how to arrange another child to be abused that night. And it is that's a very strange feeling for a performer where you are in this surreal situation that is completely immoral, but you have to go on.
And then on top of it, there's a face glued onto your face.
Yes. Yes.
What kind of, would you say, first of all, what was the scope of, how long did it take from concept to shooting, and how long was the shooting process? Was it in fits and starts?
Yes, it fits and starts. At the beginning, I decided that I set myself a task, which was to come up with a character each week for 10 weeks. And the idea was come up with the character on the Monday, and by Sunday to film with 3 real people with that character. So in that week to come up with a complete backstory, you know, obviously nationality, to learn the accent, and by the end of the week to convince a real person for a few hours that I was real. And it was a kind of an acting challenge, you know. I should have been sponsored, actually. Obviously, when you're creating these characters, you're, you know, like when you normally, you guys are actors, so you know, when you're creating a character, you want to know as much of the backstory as possible. In this kind of scenario, you need to have a complete backstory. And by that I mean, if you're in character for 5 hours with someone, they can ask you any question about you, where you live, what you did that morning, what you did 3 months ago, where you grew up, what school you went to, your favorite stuff. So you have to have it, you cannot go, you have to have an answer. And so you try and learn a complete person, you know. And sometimes then obviously, this guy Billy Wayne, the conspiracy theorist, journalist, I was working with this fantastic dialect coach called Tim Monnick, who I met on the set of Hugo, Martin Scorsese's Hugo, he's the greatest dialect coach in the world. And he basically would help me, but sometimes I'd be getting the prosthetics made and I would be learning, I'd say, you know, I need this character to be from Bristol in Kentucky. And he'd say, okay, let's learn the accent. And so we would have 4 hours of learning the accent and then going into the next room. So, yeah, it was a kind of acting challenge to see whether I could do it. Thank you.
What kind of mental and physical toll did this process take on you, besides you got uglier, but...
Well, I mean, look at me. I'm 19 years old and I look like this. But it was tough. I mean, often I was waking up at 3 in the morning and then there's 5 to 6 hours prosthetics, and obviously I'm rewriting during those hours, and then we go to kind of very long shoots, and then the prosthetics come off about 10 o'clock at night. So sometimes you're getting 4 hours sleep a night, and you are, by the time you, actually your skin is great, because by the time you take this stuff off, you've had it on since 6 in the morning, so you are sweating, you know, and so, as a result, you know, it's not the kind of scene where you can have a makeup person who goes, oh, let me just put that. So we did, I was doing one interview as Iran Morad, you know, the Israeli guy, and at one point the cameraman just gives me this signal, which means I have to go off. And I went on, I go, wait 1 second, please, very important phone call from Israel. It may be Bibi, I have to go. And I go off it. And basically the prosthetics guy outside, he goes, your ear. I go, what about my ear? He goes, it's hanging off. And my ear was at a right angle. And so this man had been speaking to a person with 3 ears. But somehow, he was looking at my eyes and had not noticed that this ear had gradually been going horizontal.
Mega Mosque. That was terrifying. In Arizona, his name is Nero Kane Indigeo-Cello.
Dr. Nero Kane Indigeo-Cello.
Right? I mean,
touche.
First of all, though, this is our water.
Oh,
We gave me 20 minutes to get into this.
Maybe you should just break for another 15 minutes or something. Sorry, you were asking.
Mega Mosque. That was insane. How did you not get murdered?
With difficulty, actually. So we had a security guard.
One security guard.
We had 3 guys. We had 3 guys, because obviously you've got a bunch of people, everyone is bringing in weapons. And the security guard, who himself was a hilarious guy, because we did, another time, we did a scene where Naira gives birth. And we're clear, he gives birth out of his rectum in a kind of empathetic birth, experience the birthing experience. And I had an empathetic birth, and there's a doll stuck up my bottom leg. Well, it's a long story. But this guy, the crew were cleaning up this set at the end, and they found this guy's loaded gun on the floor. He was fired the next day. Anyway, this was the guy I trusted with my life. And we were at the Mega Mosque, and just before it happens, I go, what do I do if somebody pulls out a gun, or multiple people pull out a gun? And he goes, don't worry. He goes, do not worry, sir. He goes, I've got this. And he pulls out a clipboard, and he goes, this, sir, is bulletproof. And he had created a Kevlar clipboard that, I said, okay, wait a minute, why have you made it this big? I go, why didn't you make it this big? I go, where do I put it? I go, if somebody goes to shoot me.
Your face is your fortune.
Exactly. I go do the heart, or do I do the crotch? And in the end, the way I realized the only way I could sort of survive was by going out like this. So I could basically cover the whole thing. But so we had 2 groups of people who did that scene. The first group, we took their guns off them. We drove them in on a bus. So we took their guns off them before they got on the bus, and almost all of them had guns. And some of them during the scene, they kind of threatened me. They're going, because I was going, any Muslims here, please? We come up to the front and go, people go, how dare you? I'm not a Muslim, And it was kind of threatening me. One guy said he said, now I understand why you took our guns away from us. I go, why? He goes, because we would have used them. And they were quite an extreme crowd. I mean, they were talking about blowing up the nearby dam in order to wipe out this mega mosque if it was built. And I go, but surely that would destroy your own town. And they go, yeah, we don't care. So they were ready to commit suicide in order to stop Muslims coming to town. And anyway, so we had a meeting after the first mega mosque. There was another group of people coming in, and we realized that we couldn't stop them going out into their cars. We'd not driven them in a bus. That they would go out into their cars, get their weapons, bring them back in, and that we might have it might turn into a gunfight where we're stuck in the building and we are like a kind of inverse mass shooting where there are 47 guns all trying to kill me. And so at that point, actually, I said, okay, this is now an opt-in crew. In other words, everyone's going home unless you're actually saying, I am staying, because you're aware that there could be a gunfight here. People are getting much angrier than I would have expected.
Really?
Yeah. And so it was definitely, it was tense. It was definitely tense.
That's it. I mean, because we got the 5-minute mark thing, and I just feel like I could ask you, do you want me to give you like a few questions and pick one?
No. Or you want to ask the audience, or what do you think? Where are you going? Does anyone want to ask a question? What do you think? Or Sarah, I mean, it's you. I mean, what do you think? You're the moderator.
Oh, fuck. I'm just going to say, this man, is he obnoxious? Is he off-putting? Yes. This is real acting. I mean, I'm very impressed by it. Whatever, don't make a big deal about it. But, there's no take 2 with this show. And it's just that it's a commitment level that you just don't see in a regular television show.
Thank God.
And, yeah. And thank you for coming.
Can I say one thing as well? Can I say, while Sarah is my friend, it is an amazing honor for me to sit next to her. Because she's one of the funniest people in the world and one of the most courageous. And actually a lot more courageous than me, as she knows.
I do call him pussy a lot, but
That's actually
We'll
sexist.
turn it into a jerk-off fest, but I feel like we have the same goals and we go about them very differently.
Yes.
We get people's porcupine needles down to get the truth.
Yeah, I mean, we're both a bit concerned with what's going on. It's concerning, isn't it? It's concerning.
But I think there's something about just accepting that we're all going to die and it's going to be bad.
Do we have time for a question from the audience or not? What do you think?
Is anyone burning? Oh,
What do you choose? You choose. Wait a minute, is that guy from Arizona? Wait a minute, I recognize that guy. Okay. Do you want to ask a question? You may have to be loud.
Can you talk about the process of obtaining the interviews?
The process of obtaining the interviews. Great question.
Next question.
I probably have to. How about this guy, Swip Hoodie?
How do you do a second season now that people are expecting more?
Yeah, I can't. It's a one and done, unfortunately. I mean, this kind of stuff, you would never be able to get past a publicist again. This was most popular in DC, and this was in the Hill every day because there were people, who were actually sometimes losing their jobs. I mean, we had Jason Spencer lost his job. He was the guy who dropped his underpants. I mean, by the way, that guy, the most surprising thing about that guy was that, so he had dropped his underpants and chased with his bare buttocks at what he was pretending to be an Islamic terrorist with the aim of turning him into a homosexual by touching him with his buttocks. He had taken photos, upskirt photos, up a burqa, and had screamed the N-word multiple times. And the guy refused to resign. That was the amazing thing. He refused to resign, I think, for 72 hours. That's an indication of how the political dialogue has changed in this country over the last couple of years. Then there was, I don't know if you saw, was there the guns thing here? There was Dana Rohrabacher, was the congressman.
These people represent us.
Yes. Those from the OC. I mean, Dana Rohrabacher, there was a quote by somebody quite high up in the Republican Party who said there are two people who the Kremlin pays, Rohrabacher and Trump. Anyway, this was a guy who had his own code name at the Kremlin. And I was very proud that his opposition during the campaign used some of the kindergarten section to say, do you want to vote for this guy? And that made me proud.
The crazy thing is so many of these people, they're embarrassed subsequently. And they're people that shame for them converts into outward anger because they cannot look inward. And then they blame you when I'm pretty sure if you look down the barrel of a camera and say that 4-year-olds should be armed, that's on you. It's so insane. We did it. We got 5 minutes.
Yeah, we did 5
ago.
minutes. What do you think?
We could go on and on forever.
We could go on and on. It's rare that I come out, and I must say the most scary thing that I've done in my career is actually sitting here tonight. This is deeply uncomfortable for me, so thank you so much for watching me in pain. And thank you to Sarah for getting this out of me.
Come have wine and cheese.
Yeah, come and have wine and cheese outside. Apparently. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, I really appreciate it.